whatever.
Towns is better than him. Beating him, and
he's also played like 200 more games than he has.
That doesn't mean anything.
What are you talking about? That's like saying
Towns was rookie
that's
of the year
like
last year.
saying you
How's that
started working
200
out
more
5
games?
years before me, and then I start 2 years after.
But how's that
And you
200? Towns was a rookie last year. 2
Yeah,
years
he's
ago.
never beaten busted for years.
He's played less than 100
Is
NBA.
this his third year or second year now?
This is his second full year. Last year was his first real year. That he actually
But he was supposed to be
hurt
rookie
2
the year
years
before
before
that. He's been a
He was
lot.
hurt his rookie year and his second year. This is his fourth year.
He's been doing
Yeah,
NBA training with men for 4 years now.
No, well, not really, because
He's been in surgery.
his surgery's in his
We're
ankles.
rolling. We're rolling. Right. I'm feeling this thing's going to collapse.
Some kind of bad game that day. 7 and 8 or something.
Check his numbers. Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. But you can keep it up. Yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure that we're looking at the camera when I start. All right, welcome back to On the Block. Wouldn't you know it? Lamar, let us know who had more points in that game, more numbers in general.
Embiid did that.
Okay.
And he
Well,
won
the numbers.
the game.
And he won the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we're settled on that. We're going to talk about the West. We'll talk about a few teams, and then we're going to do the Christmas games. We'll start off with Minnesota since we started with that. Let's talk about, Igor brought up the fact that Thibodeau's playing
Crazy
guys a
Thibodeau.
lot of minutes, which is no surprise. He did that in Chicago. He's doing that in Minnesota. Now, like I said, Towns had a quote where he said something along the lines of, if we have a problem with the minutes we're playing, we'll go into the coach's office and let him know. We've all played sports at different levels. Doesn't matter. We've played. Who's going to say I want to come off, coach? Nobody's saying I want to come off.
Here's the thing. It's all well and good when they're winning. If later in the year they go into these crazy streaks because he's playing an 8-man unit, they're going to use that as an excuse. Guaranteed. Oh, I need to. And it's luckily, they're young guys. If they were older guys, oh man, this wouldn't even be like. Because Jimmy's probably the one of the veterans.
Those three guys are. Whether you got Jamal Crawford, who's playing minutes off the bench, he's probably playing 20 minutes a game. You got Taj Gibson, who's been in the league a while.
Yeah, but we're looking at that. He played Towns 48 minutes that game, and that after a while,
Even playing no defense like him, that's still tiring.
Because the players in Chicago, after a while,
They wore down.
They wore down, and that was a lot of the problems that they had. A lot of people, that was even blamed on what happened to Derrick Rose, where all those crazy minutes he was playing under Thibodeau. So I don't know. Right now, it's working. They're winning. But, I mean, down the stretch, when they come to the playoffs, we'll see how that wear and tear on the body
But
goes.
I never understood that because as soon as Thibodeau left, that was the end of Chicago.
Well,
even though
they traded everybody.
Fred Hoiberg, well, yeah, and you know what?
But his system is when everyone thought they were the next team. So why are they complaining?
No, Tom Thibodeau's defensive system worked well in Chicago. When they went to Fred Hoiberg, he changed it to an offensive system,
they weren't
and they weren't scoring. That's the problem that the Bulls had. They went from a team of one strength to another, and it just didn't
They
work.
had no strength when they went to Hoiberg. But when we saw this, I'll just bring it for the Toronto people listening. The best example that we had that we saw at home is Kyle Lowry. And we've seen him. Yeah, sure, he's been out of shape. But why do you think that Fred VanVleet, DeLon Wright, all these guys are playing so many minutes? Lowry got to be averaging like 32 minutes a game, which is very little for an all-star. Why are they doing that? Because they've seen him in the playoffs get tired from all these minutes. They're burning him out. Why would the T-Wolves? Now, the T-Wolves, I guess they're saying, let's just get to the playoffs. They haven't been there in 14 years, whatever it's been. But you got to watch out because I know they have a thin bench. It's not very good, and a few of the guys are hurt. That being said, you still need to play some of those guys. Just buy some time for you guys to get back because after the All-Star break, those guys are going to run out of gas and they're going to fall short of playoffs again.
Yeah, but to me, if you have a team where you have a second unit, where like I remember one of the best second units was the Kings a long time ago. They had one of the best second units.
Bobby Jackson, those
Yeah,
guys.
those guys.
Bobby
Exactly.
Jackson.
Yeah, and they had a good second unit, which is as good as their first. And what I'm saying is, if you have a unit like that, you've got to use it. But they're not doing. But with Minnesota, that's not the case. Like the only people who care about this minute thing are the players that aren't playing when they're losing.
No, it's all of the people that follow the NBA.
Yeah, but they don't matter. They're not on the team.
But
That's why they're not getting anywhere, and that's why they're wearing the players down.
It's a simple thing where when they brought in Jimmy Butler, the expectations on Thibodeau is simply, you know what, you got that last piece that everyone thought that they needed, that veteran leadership. He's pushing them just to get into the playoffs. When they get to the playoffs, like they should be competition for a lot of the teams. They'll probably finish 4 or 5, or they should probably even win a round. But if they're gassed like that, who knows? The young guys so far have been doing a decent job of it, but like I said, after the All-Star break, we'll see how their play continues when you get like 70 games of that. and you're pounding.
But see that people are saying that, but they're not clearly watching the game. You can tell when someone's gassed when their hands are on their knees, on their shorts.
You're not getting what we're saying.
I get what you're saying.
You're not.
Longevity.
We're not talking about right now. We're saying in the 80th game of the season, if they get to the playoffs, the 70th game, it's going to wear them down. We're not talking about right now. First of all, like we said, who played 48 minutes that game?
Towns did.
You want a 7-footer playing 48? I don't care how long. If you
long.
don't want a 7-footer playing 48 minutes, especially playing 45 minutes, you don't have the numbers right now. You don't want to play that many minutes. Nobody does.
But what does that have to do with anything if they're not like? Is it like they're playing wicked now and you think they're going to die out?
No, but
they're not even playing that well.
We'll use the Warriors and the Spurs, and you even talked about the whole LeBron thing.
Yeah.
The reason that they're doing that is because a lot of them are older guys, but even some of the Golden State guys aren't that old. Steve Kerr knows that, you know what, it's a long season. Resting, like Draymond Green, you know, shout out to him for screaming on the fantasy league last week, by the way, for benching whatever they were doing with him. He's not that old. He's got a little shoulder injury. They're resting him for the he can probably play. He can probably play.
Do you know how ridiculous it is that you guys are comparing those two? They are a 3-point shooting team. They can
No.
That's why they're
We're comparing.
We don't have to talk about Golden State. We can take any team with the Raptors.
What about them?
The Raptors play everybody.
I'm comparing like the coaching philosophies in terms of minutes and how the Spurs will rest guys and so forth and everything like that. They're older guys. Yes,
what's your point? Hold on.
There's a reason for it.
No, I'm saying that if you have a unit where you can rest players or play your units and you're not losing games because of it, then you do it. So
you're saying people don't have that luxury. A lot of teams don't have that luxury.
Exactly. So if you have a young unit that can afford to play, and I'm watching them, and their hands are out there on their knees, I'm not thinking. You're not saying, "Well, this isn't working now." Whatever. What if they don't make it there? You play to win now.
Here's my thing: you play them so many minutes, a greater risk of injury obviously comes with that. If let's say Butler or Towns goes down injured, goes down injured, their bench guys haven't been playing at all. How effective are they going to be at all?
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. You
got to
understand what you're saying. This is the question. If you and me, your team, my team, we're coaches. We're in the Super Bowl. We're on the goal line. You're down by 3. Are you going for the touchdown or are you going for the field goal to tie?
And that's actually a good question. You're talking about football. Here's the thing. So I've coached soccer. Okay. I've had kids that are much better than other kids. And again, in rep soccer, you don't have to give kids the same amount of minutes. Mm-hmm. But I also know the fact that while, yes, I would like my better players out there for the amount of time, you could see it on their faces that they need time and they fatigue. These are young kids. It doesn't matter how young kids.
Okay.
So I can't play these kids 70 minutes of a 90-minute game because they're gone and they're gassed.
Perfect.
And again, and this is the same situation. That's why other guys have to at least take some of those minutes. Can you play Towns 35, 40 minutes a game? Sure. Can you play him 48? No way.
But you just went back to my point. You said that you were coaching the kids and you can see it in their face. I'm telling you, I'm watching them and their hands are not on their knees. They don't look.
So because your hands on your knees, you're shots. You're short on jump shots. You're not playing as well in the fourth quarter.
But you tell me I can't see a player and say that guy's gassed? Are you telling me that? Well, of course we all are capable of doing it.
We can go back all day, like I said. Wiggins, and I don't know about the first 20 games.
Wiggins, he's never trying.
Exactly what I'm getting at. Why can he play 48 minutes a game? Because he's not playing defense. I send you the low post. I send you the podcast. I send these guys the podcast. They have numbers on the show. Wiggins and Towns were the worst defenders in the league at their positions. It's not up for debate.
This season.
That was all of last year. Not up for debate.
But my debate is, how do they get that stats? Like, tell me. I don't know. Like, how are they?
I don't know what they do. Maybe the percentage you give up, how many shots are in your area. There's no coincidence.
They're young kids.
They're not second last or third last. Like, they're actually last.
No, I understand that, but I need to, in order for me to condemn them, I need to know they're like, let's say there's a screen and you switch and someone's using your face. Are you counting that against them? That's what I'm saying. I need to know before I attack them.
So you play ball. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, if you're playing that amount of time, if you're draining your energy offensively, there's no way. There's no way that you can like play defensively both sides of the ball and have enough energy to be actually consistently decent.
And maybe that's why they can play for you because they're not trying.
Because if they're not trying defensively, then sure. Then yeah, if you're letting guys just breeze by, But if
Which
you're
is
like
why
a
James
stopgap
Harden-
defender,
Yeah.
that expels energy on itself.
But I'm gonna
There's
answer,
no
I'm
way
gonna
you can
answer,
do that.
no, but I'm gonna answer that question now, where I've been on many teams where I'm the leading scorer, but I want to stop the other guy. I'm not, if I score 30 and the other guy's scoring 30 on me, that's not good. I want to
Right.
shut him down. So when you're saying this resting thing, I've been the guy where I'm taking all the shots, but I also have to play the defense on the best player because I don't want him scoring on me.
But there are
That's
guys like
humiliating.
that. in the
But that-
league,
but that
like
guy-
Klay Thompson, like Klay Thompson, right?
Yeah.
But there's also the guys in the league like James Harden
Exactly.
and like Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. But you said it can't. You said like you can't do it if you're.
It's hard. He's saying
It's
that it's
hard.
hard,
It's
and
hard.
eventually
Yeah.
you'll get injured. And some
Yeah,
things will
eventually.
catch up to you.
It'll catch up to you.
Fatigue.
Fatigue will catch up to you.
Maybe
There's
not
no
in
reason
every
those guys
case,
get
but the
rest.
numbers. We're just talking about numbers. Like chances are, if you're going hard both sides for 10-year career, 82 games a year, 40 minutes a game, chances are players break down.
Yeah.
It happens
The more
everywhere.
minutes you play, that's a greater risk of injury. That just comes with the territory.
But if we pull up the numbers of Golden State and the minutes that Curry and them were playing before they started like doing this dynasty thing of making the finals every year, they weren't resting like that. They were able
But
to do
they
it.
weren't getting killed the way that Thibodeau's killing these kids.
We got to get
No
off
way.
this topic
Yeah.
because it's kind of we're arguing for no reason.
Well, I mean, like,
the facts are
we'll-
the facts. They played too many minutes.
We'll see how it ends at the end of the season, and we'll see if they decline in the numbers come up once the season gets into the 70s and 80s.
And if you never play your bench players, no matter how good or bad they are, you'll never know what they are.
Mhm.
And I feel like Minnesota needs to play the younger Shabazz Muhammad. All these guys, they're not great players, still NBA players. You can give them 12 minutes a game and play your players 36 instead of 48.
But Thibodeau's under the pressure to win. And that's why he's not giving the kids an opportunity.
But he's been like that from 2 years ago when he got there.
Before he even got there, and I've watched
He's
a
been like that
lot
before.
of Minnesota games. I'm not saying that they can't do it, don't play them. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of giving people chances. I'm not a fan of equally 50-50 bench and bench unless you have that team. Like if you have that team,
No, I'm not saying even 50-50. I'm just saying like that.
We're just saying
minutes per
sprinkle
box.
some minutes in. Let's let him move on. We're
Yeah.
done with this. OKC.
OKC's been a situation where I think I mentioned this in the first show. You didn't know how they were going to gel, and we see that Russell's better when he has the ball in his hands. They brought Paul George and Carmelo Anthony so that Russ can take some, doesn't have to play whole games like we were just discussing. The problem is that they still stink when Russ is on the bench because Paul George, I think it's a minus 16 when he's on the court. I read some kind of crazy stat where they're worse. They're much worse when Russ is on the bench, and they're ball stoppers. They're not moving the ball, and that's why they've been struggling. They have guys that I think Carmelo, to me, he's been a declining talent for the last 3 years, and it's starting to show. And I think Paul George, to me, do I see him even staying past this year? No.
Well, he's going to stay seeing past this year.
Well, I thought possibly that if they had a great
If
year,
they
but to
played
me,
well.
he's already thinking about his free agency, and he's checked out.
And I can't blame him.
And he's again, like I said, we're talking about the trades. Like to me, it's been a disaster so far. And do they still have time to gel? Sure, but like to me, it's too many ball stoppers and not enough transition game and moving the ball, and then they're having a ton of problems because they're not. Paul George isn't a great shooter at the end of the day, and like you said, we talk about clutch time.
I think he's a very good shooter.
I don't mind Paul George. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, again, when it need be.
Yeah, when it's needed.
When it's
Yeah,
needed.
yeah.
And Carmelo's to me is a declining talent. I think it hasn't
Check.
been Russ. Yeah, and it hasn't. And it's basically Russ hasn't been getting as many shots, and his numbers are lower than what they were, which was going to happen.
Of course.
But to me, it's one of those situations where it could turn around in 20, 30 games, but they got to change styles somewhat.
I want to make sure I'm very clear about OKC because
Better be.
Westbrook's my guy. That's not my team. That's my guy. I can't stand Carmelo is a bum. He's such a bum, and the reason he's a bum is because he thinks
He still thinks he's 25 too.
in the way he
Yeah.
talks, like he actually thinks he's this Hall of Famer, and he might get in, but he thinks he's some first round, which he is not. He's a loser. He can't win. And he thinks
I can't disagree with you.
And he acts like it because he's friends with LeBron and them.
And Chris
You know,
Paul.
something
He thinks
not.
he's on that level.
Yeah, he's not.
I liked him on the Nuggets. I thought he was pretty good.
Of
The
course,
Nuggets, of
that was
course,
a
yeah.
long time ago. And even then, he was losing, and he was clutch then, but he still lost. So because he doesn't
And
know how to
skinny
pass
back
the ball.
then, yeah.
Yeah, and he's a little chubby then back in Denver.
He's
But
a little
either
chubby
way,
still.
yeah. But either way, he is an issue. Paul George, I remember when we talked about it last year, I said that I can't stand him because in the fourth quarter he disappears. He'll score and then blame his teammates. And when I say
Yeah,
disappear, I don't mean he
yeah.
can't score. I mean he cannot win you a game.
Mhm.
He does all this scoring. He'll do windmills and he'll give you all this hope and then let you down. But at least Unlike LeBron, he won't pass it. He'll try, but he'll fail. He'll always fail.
Which is worse.
No,
I'll take
a guy who tries. So what I'm saying is
no way. I think
I'm not talking about winning. Though. We're talking about just I'd rather have a guy that's aggressive than a passive guy. Yeah.
But he's aggressive and fails.
But what I'm saying is with everyone.
That's like Lonzo hitting freaking shots off the fucking back.
But he tried.
No, that's different. That's different. So
we'll get on him
okay,
too.
but what I want to say is that everyone looks at making it look like it's Westbrook's the issue. Oh, Oladipo, why is it that he's playing good in Indiana, but he couldn't play good in OKC? They're blaming him. What I don't like is that Paul George went to Indiana, the team that he was drafted by. You're supposed to go there and do what Vince did to us, what McGrady did. When people get traded from a team, what LeBron, who I can't stand, how he went when he first went back to Cleveland, he destroyed them. That's what real players think that killer instinct. Like, I'm not gonna let them boo me, not just once, by the way. But you don't just boo. You don't get rid of me and then boo me. I'm gonna remind you why you loved me. And Paul George went to Indiana and stunk the bed. Carmelo went scoreless in the second half in New York. Yeah. These are bombs. These are bombs. They're bombs. And Westbrook's getting blamed. And he's the bad guy. Oh, no one can
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to cut you off. Now you're gonna go to my clip. My clip right now. Russell Westbrook. What has he ever won? He won an MVP. We talked about empty stats. This is where I've been with Russell Westbrook. I hated him. You know what I mean? I hate him. I said this guy's never. His mom never loved him when he was younger. He's mad at the world. After that, he balled hard. I'll give him. He had all these fake triple doubles. He dunks over everybody. He's athletic as hell. What has he done? Nothing. Honestly, what has he done with OKD?
Can I answer that question?
No, I don't want you to answer that yet. I want to make my point.
To me, sometimes when you make these moves and you make these trades, you don't.
I'm gonna pull a Kevin Hart. Let me finish. I'm gonna pull a Kevin Hart, but let me finish. Okay, I need to get back. So, Oladipo, what happened? Everybody thought he was trash, like you said. He went to get high hopes. Now what's he doing? Flourishing. Okay. Who else left there? Cantor. Oh, he's trash, whatever. FC numbers. I don't know. I don't mind him for what he is. Yeah. All these guys, Kevin Durant. And you know what? I can't blame Kevin Durant for leaving. I will not. I'll be on the way. I'm not blaming Kevin Durant for leaving OKC. I'm leaving him for going to the team that beat him and being a bitch for going there. Okay. Now, there's a reason why nobody wants to play Russell Westbrook. He's a hog. He'll pass you to get his assists, not to win the game, and he's not a winner. Has he had great MVP game? All-Star games? Yes. I am so done with Westbrook right now. I've seen him fail with Durant, but still get to the finals. Right? That was his peak with him. Then he left, and he's like, oh, he backstabbed me. I'm going out to get the MVP. That's great. You got killed by Houston in the first round. You've done nothing. All these triple-doubles, LeBron gets, everybody get triple-doubles. I'm sick of it because Jason Kidd wanted to do triple-doubles when he was in his prime. No, Jason Kidd would have a triple-double every game. No questions asked. We all know that. Now guys are saying, "Kid, big man, run down the floor and get these triple doubles. They're all fake numbers. I don't want to hear about triple doubles anymore from anybody." Russell Westbrook, back on him, he's not a winner. And until he gets at least to the finals, he won't even get to the conference finals.
Is Durant a winner to you?
I'd rather have Durant on my team
No,
than
I'm asking you a
Westbrook.
reason when I didn't ask him about that. Is he Durant a winner or a loser?
The way they play the finals, you gotta get safe with Durant's a winner.
He's much more cold blooded, and I can't stand Durant. I can't stand Durant. But I give it. Why? Because he dunks harder. I hate Durant. I don't like Westbrook either. If you told me which one you want on your team, no questions asked. I'm taking Durant.
Yeah,
no questions asked.
I'd probably take Durant too.
Are you gonna tell me you take Westbrook over Durant?
I'm saying it's not no questions.
It is
no
question.
question. Not to me.
Westbrook can't defend. Kevin Durant is one of the best defenders in the
Kevin
position.
Durant is more of a complete player in my opinion.
What is Westbrook better at than him?
Okay. Everything except shooting threes. Everything except shooting threes.
No.
What every factor of the game except shooting.
Name them. Name them. Tell me
a
factor.
factor.
Free throw shooting.
Better.
No.
Oh no, free throw shooting. Sorry,
No.
you're not being fair. You. I said shooting. So you're using.
I said 3-point shooting.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
Going to the rim. Westbrook.
Okay, can I say one
I
thing?
wouldn't even. I don't know.
He might have more.
I've always thought that
Durant's thrown it down.
I've always thought that even Durant. I even thought Durant's defense is pretty.
His defense is not even close. It's not even
It's
close.
But can I say one
It is
thing?
not.
Can I say two quick points about Westbrook?
You can tell me your lies. Go ahead.
Just to defend. We got evidence, guys, if you want to check YouTube. But what I'm saying is when Westbrook had no squad, I don't care about triple doubles either. I've never ever brought up. I told you he's my guy, and I've never brought it.
He's had no team.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the same thing that I said. I just made fun of Carmelo Anthony and Paul George about when Durant and Westbrook had to play each other for the first time. And Westbrook is to me a very okay 3-point shooter, not some 3-point nail
He's
shooter. Okay.
He's okay.
When he had to play OKC and he had no squad, what happened? He went and played them and scored 40 points on that team. Durant was guarding him. Everyone knew that he was going to be the only guy scoring. Everyone
First
knew
game
that
back last
the
year.
very first game they played each other. I care
Yeah.
because I don't want. What I do care
You know
about is
what-
the guy who
You know
scored.
what I'll give? You know what I'll give Westbrook over Durant? The only thing I'll give him, his mentality. That's it. The mentality. I like his aggressiveness. I like his
You also,
character.
you also think that I'm not taking anything away from Westbrook. When you're pretty much the only main scorer on the team, you're gonna get points.
That's a
You're
myth.
going
That
to
is a
get
total myth. Golden State is a very good defensive team. People think because they score, they still have
somebody's
defense.
got to score.
No, it doesn't matter. If you know this is the only guy and he's the one who wants to attack you and Durant wants to embarrass him,
but if
you'll
you-
score 40
but if-
points
but
and
if
do
the
that,
ball-
And you'll still win by 20 though.
But if
I'd
the
let
ball-
them do that any day.
but if
why
the
would
ball-
you let Westbrook do that?
But if the ball's in his
People do
hands
that
the
all the
majority of the
time.
time,
Let
he's gonna
LeBron-
get his points.
Let LeBron score his 40 in the finals again, like you said. Hold on, we'll go back to the finals real quick before we move on. Remember when Golden State beat LeBron in the finals that first time, the first year, okay? When Golden State won, what did they say when Kyrie was hurt, Love was hurt? What did they say? LeBron, go out there, get your 40 points, get your 10 assists,
The
get your
rest
10
of the guys
rebounds.
didn't do anything.
You can do whatever the hell you
They were
want.
playing for
You
a
can do whatever the hell you want. Nobody else
LeBron
can do
This is a
it.
basketball game. This is a one game where they talk about you left that
No,
team.
we're gonna judge who's better on one game.
I don't go by that. I'm watching Carmelo Anthony. If you saying he's
We're
declining,
agreeing on
right?
Carmelo
Exactly.
Anthony.
But then it's the same variable.
What I'm saying is what?
He's playing a player who left him, who basically you're saying Steph Curry is better than me. He's saying publicly in quotes that he's going to embarrass them, and you let him go and score 40 on you, the championship team. He is coming to kill you. And you guys are making it sound like Golden State there with Draymond Green, that talking team is going to let him walk
But at
and
the end of the
say,
day, if
we
the
gotta move
ball's
on because
always in your hands, you're gonna get points. The one point I did want to make, a lot of one factor that doesn't really get put into all these trades is what it brings to the culture of the locker room and so forth. I think that's a point that's undertaken a bit because I think let's take Oladipo and whatever. I think the Westbrook team from last year, in terms of how they're doing, is better than it is this year. Though they seemingly have better players, so to speak. A lot of sometimes when you make trades where on paper it looks like one team definitively won.
Remember the Lakers when they did all those trades?
You don't really see how it affects how they gel or how it really affects the locker room, and you see it in a lot of sports. Like
He's also a team.
I'll use
Basketball's
I'll use
usually
Ottawa
wrong.
for example. Ottawa just got Matt Duchene was supposed to be a big trade for them. They got rid of Kyle Turris. They've been terrible ever since that trade. They've been they've lost 12 out of 13 or 14.
Hold on. The point that I want to make, because again, way off topic, we have a lot to talk about. The point I want to make is let's even say right now, just say yes or no. If you swap Durant with Westbrook right now, who's the better team? You still think the Westbrook team at OKC is better than if you had Durant?
On the current squads?
Okay, that's fine. The question that I want to ask then is Westbrook, what was I going to say? Westbrook to me is not even the bigger problem with OKC, although he is a problem. If you take Carmelo Anthony off that team, if they never made that Carmelo Anthony trade, I think that they're a top 5, top 6
They'd probably
team.
be better because Carmelo.
For me, the
I'm
problem
sorry, say that again?
with OKC, to me, to get back to my original point, is the problem with OKC mostly is Carmelo Anthony.
Okay.
That's all I want to say. We're done with this. Do you agree or no? Do you think that Melo's a bigger problem than anybody else?
No, George are bums.
Paul George, I'll still give him.
I think
Paul George to me
is
still a
checked
top
out.
15 player in the league.
You can say it by talent, just like Rudy Gay was a great talent, but he's a bum.
Do
Paul George is a
you
bum.
think that it's more Melo than anything else in OKC?
I think it's I think it's a factor of Melo being on the steady decline and not being the player that he once was, and I think that Paul George is just checked out. I don't think he's there mentally. I think he's already thinking about what it's going to be, and he doesn't. I don't think he wanted to be in OKC in the first place.
But that's fine. Like I said, I still think, and we'll never know. But I think that if
LA, I tell you right now, if he goes to LA and you don't get that third piece of LeBron, that's not going to be a good team.
How many teams can you run on? Point is, like I said, I think that if Melo never went there, I think that there would be none of these problems. We're going to move on from there. The only other team really want the Clippers would just say that that's my team, but they've been terrible. Due to injuries. It's just injuries. I know that whatever, but Gallo, everybody's running. Patrick Beverly, arguably the three.
I like the when they put the Raptors on. I got that. The European guy, the point guard. He was actually pretty impressive.
He's back.
Yeah, he was back. He was back for the
back a
Raptors.
week or two now.
He was pretty impressive. I actually liked his game, but again, like I said, without Blake Griffin there, they were 11 and 17 or something like that. They're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. quickly, team I want to talk about, we'll take a break and we'll finish up with the Christmas games. Houston, best team in basketball. Record-wise and maybe just in general. Chris Paul went there. A lot of people had questions. How's that going to work with Harden? Highest usage rate in basketball, I believe, if not top 2, top 3. Houston, they're not even that bad of a defensive team. They brought in PJ Tucker. They brought in Bakmute. They already had Trevor Ariza. Those are accomplished defenders in the league.
Sorry, just to go back. So I'm just looking at the stats of actually the game's going on right now. So it's the Nuggets and Thunder. Paul George 6 points. Carmelo Anthony 4 points.
What quarter?
Fourth quarter. So we got 8 minutes
And
left. They're losing by 4. Russell Westbrook's got 24, 5 and 6. 4 points and 6 points for NBA All-Stars.
Come get your man.
And that's it.
Huh?
To me,
Come get your man.
it's again like 4 points. Like those kind of stat lines, you never saw that with Paul George. When did you see Paul George with a 4-point freaking night? And we're like, it's crap.
That's fine. We'll move on from OKC. Get back to Houston. We want to finish up with Houston.
Houston's doing it again. That situation where again, I think Chris Paul's been up for the majority.
I think they're 11-0 since he
But
came
it's a
out.
lot of it is a lot of coaching stuff. Mike D'Antoni's style, I thought, was always going to work well with Paul and Harden because he likes to play that running back, and it suits them well. Do I think that they're going to have problems come the playoffs when teams start playing a little bit harder and more defensively?
This year I don't. Kind of like the Raptors, I think that they're going to be all right. The only team that can beat them, in my opinion, is Golden State, and that's going to be a series. That this year will be a real series.
I think that I think they'd have a lot of problems depending on how well he recovers and so forth. And I know he's back. I think San Antonio would give them problems. I think the pop system would probably give them problems.
I don't.
I think they're really good right now, but it's also after what happened last year, you can't trust that because that hard. I don't know if that was a fix or Harden going into some kind of like Brazil Ronaldo state or whatever that was. That put me in a thing where those guys come playoff time. They could be the Raptors of the West in terms of the whole choking habit. I don't know. I enjoy the record. I personally don't think that Golden State's really just like Cleveland is in the East. They're coasting.
Yeah.
They're not really putting it on 100%. Golden State's coasting. Golden State are coasting.
They're going to be in the finals most likely.
I think the teams
that's why they could lose that coasting garbage.
No. I think guys will turn it on, and I don't think
they're
that.
still winning every game though. So.
I think barring injuries, where less guys get injured, I still think it's Golden State in the West without question. Even though Houston's got the best record, I don't believe.
But when they lose, if they lose, then you guys would say what?
I don't think it will.
What does it matter? Why are we talking about what happened?
You're saying that they're going to win, and that doesn't matter because you don't have a crystal ball. So why can't I ask?
I do actually, but
also they're going to win.
I think that they're going to be in the West Finals. No, like
that I can see.
Would you question that?
Yeah,
West Finals?
Yeah,
I can see, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't like the way they play. They're very arrogant now. They think everything's supposed to go their way, and teams that get arrogant and not cocky are the teams that end up losing.
You talking about Golden State?
Golden State.
I think Golden State has too much talent.
It's just crazy talent, absolute talent.
I think come the playoff time, if you look at all the stuff that the 3-1 down and so forth, especially with Durant and everyone's healthy. No,
they should have lost that game. Durant was being a bum, and they could have easily have been in a dogfight with the Spurs.
But at the end of the day, it's
semantics.
Like I said, that's why they get in the Spurs. That could be a team that can give some problems.
Who's the third best team in the West?
Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Spurs.
Yeah, in every way.
I
guess because everybody's been terrible. Really, like who else is there? Spurs. Well, I guess Spurs, but like the Clippers were that other team. They're not there anymore, and they're not better than the Spurs, anyways. But I
think I was pretty impressed with what the Spurs did with Kawhi out. I thought they'd be worse off, especially with him missing so many games. They stayed a lot better than I thought. I think Pop's a lot of it's coaching. You don't want to.
They're the best. They're still the best defensive.
But like we talked about the Raptors earlier, I think that Casey's done some different stuff where he's gotten less of the strain up, and that's why they look better. Because again, like you remember, you hated the way they were playing. Now you love it because I think Casey's just changed the way that he's coaching.
They the ball into team ball more.
Yeah, and that's what makes a difference. And I think Pop's system just makes guys like LaMarcus Aldridge has been much better this year. Don't know how he's going to be with Kawhi back, but
he's been better. That in itself is pretty solid, right? Like I'll give him his props. He's been better. LaMarcus
was a bum last year.
I know that him and Pop are getting along. They're not doing that nonsense.
And I know that you were big on ragging on him for a while. Anybody else in the West you want to talk about before we finish up and do the Christmas games?
I think Portland's been doing better than I thought, and I'm happy to see that the Pelicans are what they are, because that's an entertaining team with those two big guys.
You'd like to see them at least in the playoffs.
Yeah, man, I mean Cousins and Davis can do some damage. They don't really have a ton.
They need one more player, I think.
Drew Holiday's been pretty solid.
I think also on the Rockets, I think Eric Gordon's been having a really good year for us. Yeah, he's been solid
for the Rockets.
For the Rockets, yeah.
He's
been really good.
I think Houston can beat Golden State.
Yeah, I think that can happen too.
I think Spurs.
You think there's no shot it happens?
I don't think it's no.
I think this is the best
I
threat
think it's
they've had.
no shot. I think
This is the best threat they've
this
had.
is the best
they've
had, but I just don't see it in a sense where if it's man for man and everyone's playing at their abilities, the Warriors' talent wins out. In my opinion,
They're more talented.
because
But
if
Houston,
everyone's if it's man for man and everybody's healthy, if Steph Curry's or Durant is injured, then that might sway me a little bit, but not man for man though.
I think that they're the second most talented team in the league.
Who?
Houston, more than Cleveland. It's tough without Isaiah Thomas because he's not. I'm saying right now without Isaiah
So
Thomas,
even
to
that,
me,
and that might
that's going to be a different thing too. Right? Like
Because
how they are.
if Isaiah and LeBron can play well off of each other,
And if
that's
Isaiah's
a-
healthy,
that's
if
a-
Isaiah's
that's a-
even
that's a
healthy.
really
He could be 100%. He's a ball dominant player.
So was
and
Kyrie. So was Kyrie.
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 and he's
Yeah, but Kyrie
he's
is like-
terrible. It was terrible
Kyrie-
defensive like Kyrie.
Kyrie, first of all, I don't know why people say this all because Isaiah scored 30, which is wonderful, and there's people who score 30 points a game all the time. He's not as good of a scorer as Kyrie Irving. It's not even close. I don't know why people are saying that.
I don't know about that.
He's a great scorer, but that he's not.
I think they have very similar deficiencies and similarities.
It's not even.
Defensively, they're both terrible. Defensively, they're both terrible.
I'm talking about scoring.
Scoring,
Kyrie's not
I
a
think
terrible defender.
But then you gotta think that Isaiah. Again, go back to the Russell. Isaiah did that with. He didn't really have much help on that Boston team, to be honest. He did a lot of that on his own for the most part. So with LeBron
We're still a winning
facilitating,
team, but yeah.
he can shoot, man.
I
Doubting
didn't say
doubting what
He might be better. He might be better.
No, I'm saying.
I think Isaiah might even be better on the Cavs than he was on the Celtics.
What are you
Okay,
saying
you'll
about
see.
Isaiah? What are you
This
saying?
is beautiful.
Well, if he's healthy.
Huh?
He's
Tell us.
healthy.
What are you saying about Isaiah?
I'm saying Isaiah is a bring up the ball dominant player, and LeBron. I'm watching Kyrie Irving run up the side and basically playing two guard because LeBron wants to dominate the ball. And Kyrie's a good scorer, and no matter what, he's going to get his off. And people are making it look like he's just some type of scorer and can't do anything else, which he proved in Boston. Because I don't even think he scored more. I don't think he scored 30 more than twice this season yet. Kyrie Irving. He's scoring 20, 21. Like he's not going to
Only
shoot.
when he
that
has to
much.
take it up because they're so good on defense. He doesn't have to score as much either.
No,
Boston's been
but
really
people
good.
thought he was going to go there and be some type of
First
vicious scorer. They don't have a
Really?
score. Who's on their team that can score? Hayward's gone. So who is a scorer?
Jalen Brown's been about
I'm
a
saying
16
scorer.
point a game
I'm
guy.
saying a scorer.
Jason Tatum.
Tatum's been good.
Those are guys that can
But
score.
what
I'm talking about
are you looking at? A
scoring.
superstar? They don't have a superstar.
Okay, so
They
then
don't.
Kyrie,
They have
so-
Al Horford. They have a bunch of guys that can get you 16, 17 points.
okay, so Kyrie could have went there easily and did what Isaiah did by averaging like 30 a game, right?
Could have.
If
Yeah,
he
they're
wants to, he
better.
can. If he
They're a
wants to,
better-
he can.
They're a better
And
team.
they're
They're
still killing
they're also a better team than when Isaiah was there.
But him taking more shots doesn't mean they're a better team.
If you look at how the rookies like you mentioned Jalen Brown and Tatum, like you look at how they've evolved, they're a better team than they were. They were
I didn't say they weren't a
literally.
better team. I'm saying we're talking about guys that can score. So if you have who's their second option? I think there's about 4 guys that could be their second
I'd say
option.
Jalen Brown.
Okay, but
Jason
someone-
Tatum's their best shooter.
Okay, so it could the answer could vary. is
He
what
used to
I'm
be
saying,
all
right?
over.
Perfect. So what I'm saying is that basically Kyrie Irving is the guy who could easily go up there and put up 25 shots a game, and other guys can kind of get their scraps.
But
Like it could be
But I
that.
think
here's my thing with LeBron getting so much attention, and the way that teams were really keen on Isaiah when he was playing with Boston. Isaiah's gonna have a lot more space to do a lot more because to me he's gonna have less of the defense on him, opening him up to have those kind of games. Because I think LeBron needs someone that can score because he facilitates so much.
Let me try and explain this. And the closest thing I can think of is betting, unfortunately. But when a good player is out, you can see this in football as well. Anytime a good player is out, okay, because you're talking about he could average 5 or 6 more points a game. I'm saying who cares, Kyrie? I'm saying he could get 6 more points a game.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever. That's pretty much your argument, right? Now, what I'm saying is when a player is injured, now this isn't over the course of the season, but in a game, let's say football, because it's the best example, there's 1 game a week. A player goes down. Let's say that, for example, Antonio Brown is out next week, which he will be. Okay? The Steelers line will probably go down 2 points in that game, 2 or 3 points, or whatever. Like there's facts. Like it's not going to go down that much because what happens in sports when players go down, you know this, other opportunities happen. So if Kyrie Irving is going to take 5 less field goal attempts. You're getting Jaylen Brown 2 more. You're getting Al Horford 1. You're getting Jason Tatum a few more. First of all, those players are better. They're happier. There's more ball movement. That means they're trying more on defense. That's what happens. So for you to sit here and be like, Kyle Lowry, he's shooting less this year. DeMar is shooting less this year. At least smarter shots. The team's much better because everybody's chipping in.
Yes.
Atlanta Hawks back then, they were better when everybody got 16 points. If they would have had one guy getting 30, they'd be probably terrible. Spurs, another example.
And Gordon Hayward would have been cutting into a lot of those points for Kyrie.
So that's what when we've talked about OKC, for example. When you add in more talent or superstar kind of guys, that doesn't mean that your team's better.
Okay.
We've seen more than enough times your team ends up being worse. Quick sentence, we're going to go to Christmas, we're going to take a break. You have anything to say about the Kyrie thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to put it in a sentence.
Or a few sentences.
Okay, what I'm going to say is, before, when LeBron lost when he was by himself, I told you so, or I can't wait to the finals.
First finals against Golden State.
But I said I couldn't wait for the next year where there'd be no more excuses.
Yeah.
Now, Cleveland ended up winning,
They won.
but I know there's no doubt in my mind that if Draymond didn't get suspended, that they would have won.
Okay,
That's fine.
But what I'm saying now is, but what I'm saying is with this, but what I'm saying with this, what I'll say without a shadow of a doubt, we will see. There is no way Isaiah's going to do what I hear everyone saying.
But what do you
no
expect
way
him to do? I'm
take
expecting him
over.
to be a.
take over. I'm saying people are expecting.
I'm expecting him to be a 20 to 25 point player when
That's
he's healthy.
perfect. That will not happen.
If he's
There's
healthy,
no way on
I think
there's
he
no
will.
way on earth he will average 25 points.
That's fine. 25.
I said 20 to
20 said
25.
20. He said 20.
Okay,
20 to
he won't
25.
touch 20. Okay, he won't average 20 a game.
He won't average 20 a game, really.
He
If
will
he's
not
healthy,
average 20 a game.
he's healthy, I think he should.
Okay, hold on.
So now we have
Hold
to
on.
wait till
No.
a year later
No,
to
no,
when
we're
everyone
not.
says he's healthy.
No, we're not. Again, he's back in January, but he's going to come a games.
I'm gonna make this bet for
Not
you
even in the
guys.
playoffs, he'll average that.
I'm gonna make this bet for you guys. Okay? Isaiah in his whenever he comes back, we'll look at his this year's stats. Okay, when the season's done, when the playoffs start, if Isaiah's averaging 20 points or more, you're wearing a LeBron jersey.
Again?
Absolutely.
And you can pick whatever player or whatever he wants to do. You can say it now.
But he doesn't hate anybody, so that's not a fair thing.
You know what? Hold on. Who's been the? He's gonna wear a Giants jersey because he's a Patriots fan. That's what we're gonna do. Okay? You're gonna wear a Giants jersey.
Giants.
Oh
Do
yeah.
you like all the
You can't be a Patriots fan and hate.
I don't really like the team.
You don't hate anybody.
I probably if you make me wear a Buffalo Bills jersey, I probably hate it because those guys are bums.
No, I don't want Jersey. I want you to never again say that LeBron's the best in the league. I don't want to hear.
What do you say? I gotta say this.
No, the jersey. How are you gonna wear a LeBron jersey and then he has something different?
Do you know how painful it is to wear that jersey?
You had some smiles on your faces when you had that.
I was smiling at the under the bench.
I do want to say that I like what Brandon Ingram's doing for the Lakers. I think he's finally starting to get on an upward trajectory. Lonzo Ball, to me, has been one of the most overrated guys in the league in terms of all the hype because of his damn dad.
Fishing for numbers.
Fishing for numbers. And to me, if you look at a guy that can't shoot and can't do much, like he's been meme-worthy like throughout the whole. You saw a couple of them where they're just chucking shots at that.
Who?
It's just
Lonzo.
Lonzo's percentage at 30%. And even when he's shooting, it's terrible for him. And his free throw percentage was also terrible.
It's the free throw.
To me, it's a guy that I don't know what Magic saw. I don't know if he got bought into the hype because of his dad. I don't see it. I see a guy that could have some decent games, but he's got a lot of work to do. To me, he's another version of Rajon Rondo.
Yeah,
Another version of Rajon Rondo.
First of all, everyone was riding Rajon when saying Big Four when he was doing good and saying he was amazing. But it's okay. You guys will regret another thing on this podcast.
A worse version of Rajon Rondo.
What are we going to regret?
Regret saying that ball's garbage. And you guys better not dare say that it's because of LeBron when he runs to LA. Because he's going there.
But the man can't shoot.
That's fine. I'm saying right now.
What's he going to do? He's shooting 30%.
Hold on. For the rest of his career, he's shooting 30% now.
How do we define whether he's good or not?
Okay.
How are we going to define?
Can I answer one more question? What's Drummond's free throw percentage right now?
Drummond's a huge dude. Like I always find that argument. The big guys.
What was Shaq's free throw percentage?
Yeah,
what are you getting at?
Do you think Drummond's a bad free throw shooter right now compared to when he was?
Really not.
Perfect. Was he good?
No.
Okay, so he's not a bad free throw shooter the rest of his career because he was bad once.
How are they point guard that bad?
Yeah, but
What does it matter? People
I give the bigger guys.
These are the people they are the rest of
I
their
give.
career.
And Ben Simmons, for people that are going to say Ben Simmons is bad, Ben Simmons is a bad free throw shooter. That being said, he still attacks. He doesn't shoot threes because he knows he can't.
But he can get better.
He can get better. He will get better. And Lonzo might get better, but he's not getting better shooting like this.
Okay. Well, you guys say that LeBron's a better 3-point shooter. It took him 20 years to do it, and he still can't use his left hand. You guys don't mind that, but ball can't get
No,
better.
but at the end of the day, for a guy that was drafted that high,
I have no idea.
for all the
honestly.
headaches that his dad brings, he is not worth it.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, he's not.
And
worth
the
that.
other two
No.
are in Lithuania. We can even discuss that garbage too.
We
That
need-
was a disaster in itself.
I could talk about him all day. I
Yeah.
don't want to because we have to do Christmas. Lonzo Ball is.
That's fine. I like that talk.
Yeah.
We'll
get on that another
They were better. They would be better with Russell on the team.
No way.
Yes.
He's-
Look
he's
what Russell.
D'Angelo's
Look
man.
what
Russell
Russell.
is so
Look what Russell's
bad.
doing in Brooklyn and how he's been
He's
out of
hurt,
LA.
Yeah, he's hurt
He's
and
much
he
better.
chucks the ball.
He's much better.
All right.
Much better.
Well, Ingram wouldn't be able to do what you guys think he's doing. And
Do you like Ingram, by the way?
he's not as bad as I thought, but I'm not jumping that juice.
I think he's gone. He's made the
It
strides.
can go either way.
I don't see that.
I think it's
happening
still last year was definitely underwhelming. This year he's gone better, but like I've said to you, they've given him every cent. They give him every
I
opportunity.
know
Every
this kid, and the
opportunity.
kid, and again, we talk about it, the kid is very polarizing because he listens to his dad too much. Like that Nas thing, that
No,
happened
you're
in
talking
last
about
week.
Ingram.
That was a disaster. No, I'm
We
talking
talk
about
about Ingram. We
I'm
don't
talking
jump
about
back to ball.
like
But
that.
then he has no backbone.
That,
He's making
that,
decisions for
that's
himself.
that kind of stuff.
What to
That
wear?
kind of
He has
stuff
to-
where he wears that kind of stuff. He
So
brings
that's
attention
what
on
bothers
himself.
because you like Russell Westbrook. He's in puff with his
He
chest.
doesn't-
Like this and that. The
He
Lonzo
hasn't
Ball's going to
proved,
sit there and
he
his
hasn't
dad's going
proved
to.
nothing to be doing that. He got owned at while he was at UCLA. He's been getting owned here for the majority. You don't be doing that kind of stuff.
But here's the options. This is the only thing that's
Like he's like Embiid with
no talent.
With no talent.
perfect. But here's the option. There's only two things that are going to happen. It's going to be you guys being right or me. It's going to be time to re-sign him, and he's a waste of time. His dad caused too much stress. He's not improving, and he's going to be humiliated when he gets kicked off the Lakers.
So right now, you take in this draft class based on what you've seen on the rookies. You take that guy second overall. No freaking way.
No, but do you guys hear what I'm saying? When you're going by now, I don't care about now. I'm talking about.
So you think in 5 years he's going to be great?
How?
What's your
Hold on. How good do you think he's going to be
Second
in
overall
5
grade.
years?
I think
What's he going to be?
this is what I say he'll be. He'll be a point guard who's a starting point guard of the Los Angeles Lakers that you're not trading. I don't know what you're looking for. Are you looking for what?
That's
I'm
the biggest.
I'm looking for a guy
that's terrible.
No, it's not terrible.
That's
You
terrible.
guys said Lowry was an all-star. I told you he was garbage. And he is garbage.
I don't know who would.
You
take
guys
Lonzo
both said
Ball.
that he was an all-star. I said he is not an
I'll
all-star.
still take Kyle over Alonzo.
That's fine, but I'm going by what you guys said.
God.
You guys, I'm going by what you guys said that you
But
guys
again,
easily
the
pretend that
hype
it
train,
never said.
like the hype train is completely
Brandon
different.
is not.
You're not have a guy. You don't have a guy that has talking about his son being better than Steph Curry or Magic Johnson, putting the team on this kid's shoulders.
You're not gonna say
He's
anything
not.
about-
He's
hold
like.
You guys haven't said
midget.
anything about Lonzo.
Hold on.
You're talking about outside stuff. I don't care about his pops.
What are his numbers going to be in 5 years? Just tell me that. Go run. What's
Run
he
the
gonna be?
tape.
Tell us.
Run the
I
tape.
don't know.
He's not.
I don't know what Gordon's numbers are. And I think
He's
he's a very
good.
good player. I don't know what
Which
Ryan
Gordon?
Anderson's number from Houston. I think he's a very good player, and I said he's going to be 6'9".
Eric Gordon's 30 years old.
What does it matter? I think he's good. I'm watching him play. I don't know what
Five-
he's
He's been good
in
since
5
he's been
years.
No,
in 5
he wasn't.
years.
He was good on the Clippers. He hurt
In
his
5
leg and
years,
something
he'll be-
started getting better. That's what he was.
In 5 years, he'll be nearly out of the league. I'll give you that.
That's what I
5 years,
said.
and
So
nearly out of the league.
why are we talking nonsense? I said that this is
He'll
what's
be,
going to
you say
happen.
he's gonna be starting.
No, but I said that you're going to be right or I'm going to be right. He's either going to be out of the league, off the Lakers, or he's going to be
He'll
what
be a
I said he
backup.
is. That's it.
He'll be a backup point guard.
Backup
It'll
point
be
guard.
humiliating to be kicked off the Lakers. That's what will be humiliating. It doesn't matter if he's
The
humiliated.
kid,
His
the
dad
kid's
thinks
got
he's
so
gonna be
many
retired.
deficiencies in his game. Like the
Perfect.
shooting is just
Perfect.
awful.
So we'll see if he gets cut or traded.
Unfortunately, we have to end this Lonzo Ball talk, which is going on for way too long. We're going to come back quickly, run through these Christmas Day games. Lamar's going to be wrong, as he usually is. About anything. Igor is going to come back, spit his game. I was perfect 2 years ago, not sure about last year. Make these quick picks. We'll join you quick on the block.
Oh, this is going to be beautiful, man. I love this. Oh.